Jason.
Perfect.
And in case you were wondering, Monument Hobbies cures what ails you.
Does it?
If you're suffering from any type of pain anywhere in the universe, buy some Pro-Acryl.
Pain in the universe.
Pro-Acryl eliminates pain.
Pro-Acryl eliminates pain.
That's a new ad campaign.
Pro-Acryl does it? How does it eliminate pain?
Yes.
What would our customers say? How do we eliminate your pain? Customers, that was a call out to you customers. That was an indirect. See how I did that? I redirected it back to chat. How does it read?
Like an ointment, yes.
There you go.
It's an ointment for what ails you.
Jason is the craziest person I know.
Well, he did capitalize that, so technically he might be correct.
Crazy.
See what he did there? You see what he did there? Had the capitalization not been present, I might have thought there was something weird going on.
Okay.
I might have taken offense.
No, I think that was...
but the capitalization is everything.
That was astute. And by astute, I mean astute.
It's like the punctuation one, where it's like the punctuation is the only thing keeping your Uncle Jack...
Uncle Jack doesn't estimate...
Helping your Uncle
great.
Jack off a horse, or helping your Uncle Jack...
Wait, what are you saying? Wow, Blood Walrus. Thank you for that sub. 18 months. Good afternoon, Nerd Chat. Can we have another stream like Friday? I don't know what happened. I got a notification and I said, my boy's flying.
And
I let him
we're not
fly.
supposed to tell Chris.
Wow.
It was in the title.
It was in the title.
It said, surprise, don't tell Chris.
Yeah.
And somebody just told Chris, fired.
I also get a notification on my phone.
That was what we were worried about, and I didn't know how to stop that.
That is a part
so
of
I was going to blame that on technical difficulty. There must have been a lightning storm.
Oh, no.
And something came on, went off, came on, went off. It flickered. It happens.
Honestly, if that, I wouldn't believe that for a minute.
A second?
No, I wouldn't believe it for a second. If you're like, like Chris.
Did you believe me when I told you we went live Friday?
Yes, because I saw it.
Oh.
I saw. Well, that's the thing. When I get the
Did you sneak in here and watch?
When I saw the notification, I'm like, this is something that I know could happen. And all I thought about was the process of like, okay, I've actually never sat down with Jason and showed him my process.
Oh, they know this. You know how they know this? Because I bitched about it a lot at the beginning.
Which is okay, which shows me that I need to empower you to have a good show in case Chris can't be there or anybody else could be there.
Oh, I proved I can figure it out, didn't I, chat?
You did, which also gives me some confidence. Like, okay, that's not bad. The fact that I told you nothing how to turn it on. And
Not a thing.
Obviously, you're...
The hardest thing, figuring out how to turn on cameras. I didn't know where the power button for any of the cameras was.
For those cameras?
No, that one, because I hadn't touched them in so long. And then that one, so I could talk to people when I was in your chair, and I don't know how to turn it on.
Yeah, that... This one you have to turn on here, but then you have to turn a little streaming setting on. It's just a button you click.
I had no idea.
Which makes sense.
So that was hard.
Okay.
So that's why they had disembodied voice whenever I was in the producer's chair.
Hey, look at all of these subs. Cornflake Justice, Twisty Farmer.
Thank you, everyone.
Look at that hype train.
Rattlecan says, who narked us out? Technically, I did, but I'm blaming it on whoever in chat said it. Because somebody in chat said it after I told him not to say it. But technically, I think it was Friday night that I told Chris my nuts were on his drums.
That's true. That I did get that text message, and I knew. And Sarcastic Grandpa, look at all these subs. Thank you, guys. We love these subs, but we also love it when Jason can do the thing without Chris when he has to.
You know, I was here and I was going to build a Thunderhawk. That was what Friday was going to be, and I was like, I'm just going to go sequester myself in the studio.
Okay.
I'm going to tell everybody not to bother me. I'm not here. Don't you never saw me, and then I'm going to go build a Thunderhawk. Yeah. And what wound up happening is that somewhere between the time I sat down at my desk over there and looked at my computer for a minute and then wandered over here, I was like, I really would like to paint. And so by the time I got over here, I was like, I'm ready to do some painting. So we did some painting.
My chair almost killed Jason. Oh.
It was touch and go for a second as I first sat in it, but I knew what I was getting myself into, so I took it easy as I carefully and sensually straddled his chair.
Well,
and then I had to, what I learned about it is that you kind of have to get on there and I wish we had a hips cam because I'm wiggling my hips right now and that's very sensual. But I kind of did I'll exaggerate. I kind of did this on the chair, but the chair stood still.
That's what, so like right now.
I marked my territory.
And that's without my bouncing. Right now I have to be like this.
Yeah.
To stay, but that's the whole point.
I thought it was really easy. That chair is really comfortable. It's like super comfy. Like I sat in it and I was like, secretly jealous. It's a very good chair.
It keeps you
It doesn't let you like lean back for that moment of like sigh of relief time at the computer. So I don't know that I could use it all the time, but it's a really good chair.
It's for this.
I have one of those where you sit on your knees. Have you seen those?
Do you like yours?
Yes, I love it. Except that you have to have a normal chair with it. And like every couple hours you swap them out.
Oh, because you can't do it for 2 hours?
No, because when you sit on your knees for a long time, it like has a weird like blood flow issue thing going on. So they tell you not to use it for like 8 hours straight.
I was going to ask.
They tell you to go from stand to knees to sit to stand to knees if you can. So,
interesting.
Yeah, we have them at home. They work great.
Okay. Let me go back up here. Thunderhawk. So wait, I'm hearing is that the Thunderhawk is unbuilt. Yes. I think he's trying to say he missed his one on the time with the people. Here's the thing. The fact that Jason was able to do his thing made me, because I was just.
We had a great stream. I went late. We streamed till like 6.
My biggest thing was like, I wish I would have told Jason all of the processes beforehand. We just haven't gotten to that place where I was not here or somebody wasn't here without Jason.
We're not at that place in our relationship that he trusts me enough. So we have to work on that. But I did it without him. So I proved.
I'm going to empower Jason.
I proved I don't need empowerment. I just steal it.
No.
I just steal it.
Oh.
The Emperor left me alone on the crusade.
Wow.
Without empowering me the proper way. So I took it, and we will let the galaxy burn, chat.
I hear you, Emperor. He's winking. Now Jason, Bloodwater says, now Jason, I just said more streams like Friday. I could have been referring to someone else's. You're the one that just admitted that. No.
We're already too far down that path, Blood Walrus.
Yeah, we know what you did.
We're too far down that path. Like I said, I outed myself on Friday because I told we have a Gabe and Chris chat, and I knew Gabe would laugh, so I made Gabe laugh, and Chris was like, "You filthy human being."
I didn't say that.
He got very angry, and then he didn't talk to me all weekend long. As a matter of fact, I had a hobby day yesterday, and Chris refused to come.
I wanted to.
Chris, out of our entire hobby group, was the only one who didn't show up out of spite.
No.
Spite.
All of these are not factual.
Spite.
Everything he's saying is not factual.
And right now, he's being nice. But behind the scenes, right? If you could see Christopher right now, the right daggers he's shooting at me.
I'm right here. You can see me. You can see me, chat. None of this is true.
Oh, wait a minute. He got the camera to turn on. I don't know how that works.
I will empower Jason so that he can come in whenever he wants and do what he wants.
Turn yourself up a bit, Chris.
Turn myself up a bit?
Or get closer to the microphone.
Okay. Let me bounce closer. Or scoot closer.
Hobby hater, Chris. Chris loves the hobby. What are you talking about?
I am. How's
no,
that?
Friday was a lot of fun. I really liked it. I told him on Friday. I said maybe we would do the stream again on the weekend if I got a hobby group here and it felt right. Unfortunately it didn't happen until Sunday that we got the hobby group together and there were 4 of us here, just John and stuff. It just never felt like a good time to turn the stream on. I apologize for that.
Sure.
But I was building models yesterday. Oh, look what I did.
Now
we have our first Blood Angel. Papa.
Jason, that's a little. I like the little
jump, bro.
I like the little flight stand thing.
Yeah, jump, bro.
Are you gonna paint that?
Yeah, I'll just paint it black.
You paint it black?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'll just paint it black. I don't like the clear. It looks silly when you leave it clear, so I paint it black. Even though it calls attention to it, I prefer to have them painted.
Black is cool.
I prefer to have them painted. But this guy's feet weren't supposed to be on the ground. I have another one that I made on the ground, and I remember when I was building it, I was like, I really want this guy to be jumping, so we made one that jumps, so he'll be pretty cool. Will gave me the flight stand out of one of his AdMech kits for some flying thing he has in AdMech. So I might need to buy some more of those so I can have some more fly like boys.
They seem fun.
Welcome, everybody. We may have missed a lot of actual questions because the beginning of the show is when we do this. We move our lips a lot and say nothing.
I'm looking off.
Here's Laugh at ourselves. Hit the fart button.
I'm going to go back to this one. Dipolar Stream says, off topic, but can I get some tips on... This is actually on topic.
Was there a topic?
This was actually on topic.
Oh, okay.
Dipolar. Off topic, but can I get some tips on using transparent white? With it being so much thicker than the others, I've been having difficulty thinning it enough to use it without being just a light glaze.
It should not be thick. If you have a white that is thick, it is made out of zinc pigment, and zinc tends to thicken up really quick if you leave it open at all, and can thicken up over heat changes too. So if you have one that's overly thick, contact support. We can get you a new one.
Evan's got a great question. Hi from London. What's up? I just changed all my Citadel
London,
paints.
Ontario?
Oh.
London, Texas?
Oh, I see. Maybe London as in the UK?
I'm wondering if he's one of these people that's like, hi from London, Texas.
Oh, they pull the, hey, I'm from London.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, mate. I'm from London.
Evans, I'm assuming you're from London, from
Alabama.
Evan says UK.
To PA, any advice, please? Can I still follow a base coat, wash, layer, highlight? Can I mix in Citadel if you need to? Oh, yeah, definitely. All of our paints are simply water-based acrylics. They mix well with all the other brands out there that I can think of. There might be some that are a little weird, but in general, for a water-based acrylic, they mix fine. You can use all the techniques that you've learned using the Citadel stuff. It's just you don't have to look at our paints as being specific for like a base.
Yeah.
And then you buy a layer paint, and then you buy a dry brush paint, and then you buy, like, I don't know what the hell else they call it. That's all silliness. One color should do everything you need it to do, and so with our line, that's the way it works. You get the color you want, you use it for a base, you can use it to layer, you can use it to dry brush, you can use it to highlight, you can do whatever you need to with it, but the processes still can be the same. Use it, wash in between. I typically go a little different than the normal Citadel process, and I say to do your base, layer, highlight, then wash after you've done your highlighting, and then retouch your highlighting, because it'll make your highlight a bunch better if you knock it down a little bit, because the wash will darken everything just a hair.
Yeah.
And once the highlight is darkened just a little bit, and then you retouch your highlight, it adds a step, so it takes a little bit longer, but your models look a ton better if you save the wash till after you've done the highlight, then redo your highlight. Don't cover all of the same area with your highlight. Imagine if you highlight a line and it's X long, you put a wash over it, it darkens it, then when you do the next one, cut it in half and highlight half of that line towards the light. Now you have a highlight that basically blends. It's a really, really simple technique that'll turn your models up a notch instantaneously.
Nice.
Boop. Jason supporting heresy. He usually hates dirty heretics. Oh, okay. Well, it isn't heresy when we're going against Chris.
That's all you built? Mo's call. Hey.
Hey, whoa. No, I built a whole squad, right?
Yeah.
I just only made one fly.
You only made one fly.
The rest of them are on the ground like the rest of our dudes. It is kind of sad that I only built one squad, though. I reached one of those analysis paralysis points because I don't have enough arms combinations to do the loadout that I really wanted to do. Yeah. So I had to stop mid hobby time and start doing list chicken. And going through and like recooking my list and saying, what do I need to be doing here to make this work the way I need it to work kind of stuff. So.
Hey, Awkwardish, thank you for that raid. 40, welcome in, Raiders.
Welcome, everybody.
I know,
This is a Christopher Gordon Ramsay McSushi show.
A Christopher Gordon Ramsay McSushi show?
His middle name starts with G and I can never remember.
It's Gordon? Is that what you said?
Gordon.
You don't remember my middle name, man?
Gregory.
The welcome in, Raiders.
Guadaladucci.
We're doing some Blood Angels today. Guadaladucci
Masucci.
Guadaladucci Lasucci.
Get your mom on the horn. I'm changing your name.
It's Christopher Garrett Masucci.
I remember saying it was a really cool name, but I can never remember it. People's middle names are lost to me.
CGM. That's the acronym.
Guadaladuci Masucci.
Guadaladuci. Welcome in, Raiders. Awkwardish, as always, thank you so much for that raid.
What's going on, Panda Girl?
We appreciate that.
Hello.
Welcome in, Raiders.
Oh, I guess I have to do things.
So you didn't build, let's bring everybody up to speed. You didn't build the Thunderhawk.
Did not build the Thunderhawk. Friday we just painted, so we did some more of the gold. We layered up a lot of the gold on the Dreadnought. Got a lot done there. So that is looking pretty good.
It looks great.
Right? So we're to our final highlight on a lot of this. We just have a couple of areas left to do on that. On the gold, yeah. And then we'll start moving on to something else. Either another model or we'll start doing the steel parts or something on him.
Mo, you said you're on a stream streak of 20. That you said it seems off. It does seem a little off.
Those are rookie numbers.
How was the painting dad's weekend with paint dogs? Says Awkwardish. Did you have a good hobby weekend?
How was Paint's Dad weekend with paint dogs? Oh, I basically hung out with the dogs for a lot of the time. We have a store here called Imperial Outpost, and Imperial Outpost is closing. Darren, the owner, has been running that shop for nearly 28 years, and or maybe 29 years.
Wow.
I think he opened it when he was 28, and I think he's 57. So, a lot of years. It's been a staple in the Valley for decades, obviously, and he's closing. He didn't sell it. He's just closing. And so I went up there and sat and talked with him for a little over an hour and a half, something like that. And had a good time. Just sat and reminisced and talked about what he's got coming up and where he's going and how life is and why he didn't sell it and sad to see the store going on and stuff. So that was a good time.
Wow.
Other than that, I left the back door open and chased the dogs outside and ran around with them, and they ran around and wore themselves out and absolutely slept like champs on Saturday, like they were dead about halfway through the evening until they let me sleep all night and didn't wake me up, which was great. So yeah, we had a good daddy doggy weekend. It was good.
Sanctor, it is a resin base.
Yeah, all of these are resin bases. So they're all from Elric's Hobbies here in the U.S. Elric's makes tremendous resin bases. They have got a lot of different types. These are called slate. They're just broken slate and earth.
Yeah.
And I've done all of the models in this Blood Angels army are on them.
That's super cool.
They're all just big poured resin bases. They're about, for the normal guys, they're about $1 a piece. And for the bigger ones, they go to like $5 for the dreadnoughts and stuff. So pretty reasonable. Whenever you put a force together for an army, I generally spend I feel like it feels like it's $100 every time I do an army's worth of bases.
That's pretty good.
I don't know why, but I feel like it's $100 because you'll have, if there's not a lot of dudes, then there's a lot of bigger things that need bigger bases. And if there's a lot of dudes, it's the same. So,
this
guy's cool, right? He has candles.
That's cool.
Because nothing says 41st or 31st millennium like being able to have a jetpack and candles lit on your backpack.
That's a very unique.
I know they stay lit. They're like those candles on your birthday cake that you hated when your friends did it. You blew it out and they came back. That's the technology we have in the 31st millennium, folks.
Is that really?
Can I get some clapping over there? I feel like that's worth some clapping, Christopher. Yes. We don't know how to fix our tanks any longer, but by God, we can keep candles lit on jump packs.
I don't know how I understand the logic, but I like how it looks.
He's also headless.
Is that because he's got candles? Maybe he's the ghost.
I feel like this would be a good way to do your army is to not have heads.
I thought about it.
Saves a lot of painting. You could do like your zombies. You could just paint stumps with the neck bone cut off.
That's what I did. That's what I did.
I like a lot of Earthworm Jim heads on them would be cool.
That's what I have. Old school.
I'm showing Mo that I built more than one model. You bastard.
Oh, Mo. Keep us accountable. That's all I ask. Punisher says space candles, pure magic, which of course is heresy.
Nobody's safe. Everybody's a heretic.
Aaron says candles and hazard stripes always make me question. Okay.
Think about how advanced those candles must be to stay lit like that. I'm telling you, we have that technology. I've been subjected to it. I've blown the candles out on my birthday cake and had them immediately light right back up. We have this.
But 30,000 years in the future, right? Is that technically what it is?
No, it's 27, 27 something.
27 something?
Because it's 30K, right? So we're already at...
Yeah, we're already... Wow, that makes life seem so fat. We're getting really
000.
close to the Horus Heresy, everybody.
28,000 years from now, I will be in a dreadnought. That's my plan. When chat said they'd inter me in a dreadnought, I was down.
Oh, we will.
I'm willing to do this.
Keep them alive.
Pa-pow!
Oh, Ian Evans says, do I need to thin PA through my airbrush?
You definitely can. UK has a much higher humidity than here in Arizona. We tend to, like what you see here for the reds on all of the Blood Angels that I'm doing, don't have any thinning through the airbrush for all of the base coats until I got to the highlight and I thinned the highlight down. So this one shows it better. There's nothing on this except for airbrushing. The only one that I did thin is the brightest, this salmon-y color that's on here. And I thinned it about 50-50.
Which is pink trout.
Pink, eclectics, yes. So, but all the rest of it from the base coats, I did Payne's Gray, Dark Plum, Bold Pyro Red, and then Orange Red, all without. If you want to zoom in super tight.
Yeah.
You'll notice no spotting. So this was all done with absolutely no thinning at all, and it is super smooth, great resolution on it, so you don't have to worry. Lots of resin bits from me cleaning my other
you were
models.
cleaning?
Yeah, I'm cleaning up my other models. Yeah, so depending, I tell people you can try to start for very vibrant coloring and coverage. You can try no thinning at first for base coats, and then generally I start thinning for layers, filters, and highlights, of course, because I don't want to have... Your highlight provides you a lot of contrast, and that's where any spotting, it just kind of amplifies and looks even worse than it would with a base coat. So,
Lumberjack fired me.
Why did he fire you?
Because I said pink trout.
Did we give him that ability to fire you?
No.
So
but
I was misusing some other power? I don't understand.
I asked why, and then I answered myself, and then he just said pink trout.
We got some really good cup water over here.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
When you say good cup water, is it gross? Do you need some... Ah! Wait a minute.
Is that a bug? I think that's a bug. I think that was like a gnat. If we're really brave, we could do this.
No. What are you doing there, son?
Getting the chonkers up top. Ooh.
You called them chonkers?
Ooh, look at that.
Oh.
It's like egg drop soup. You ever had egg drop soup?
Sure.
Jen had egg drop soup last night. It's like egg drop soup.
Oh. Did she make it?
No, I went and got it.
Where'd you go?
Szechuan Kitchen.
Oh.
On 7th Ave.
That sounds delicious.
It's actually really good.
Did I tell you what I found on my patio during the rain?
Chinese food?
No.
The story keeps getting better.
No. I found a tarantula about this big.
Have you told Jordan about it?
No.
You should tell Jordan.
Why? Does he not like
spiders? Did you take pictures of it?
I did.
Show Jordan some
And
pictures.
I took my leaf blower and blew them away. And those things move
fast.
Like I was.
Oh my God! They will make you. They will make you move to another state when you see how fast they run.
Surprised.
In Texas, my great grandmother used to go out and once or twice a year, she would pour boiling water down tarantula holes in the yard.
Oh, to get them out.
Well, to kill them. Because we had tarantula holes all over the place in her yard. And this is in the kind of the middle of Dallas, Texas, right? This is in the city, not out in the country.
Oh, yeah.
And she would have to do that. And I learned at a very early age, you do it during the day because they typically hibernate during the day. They're nocturnal.
Yeah.
And so she would do it during the day, and she would pour boiling hot water. She'd sit there with the tea kettle, back in the day before, there's anything that like heated water very fast.
Yeah.
She'd just put a tea kettle on, and every time it would whistle, she'd go out and dump it down another tarantula hole.
Yeah. It was some kind of, it was not like super, super big, but it was late at night. I got home and I had a package on my door. I'm like, that's a big leaf on my door or my patio. I've never seen that kind of leaf. And I was like, that's not a leaf. Beautiful looking spider though. Beautiful.
Yeah, definitely show that picture to Jordan. He loves spiders.
No, Mo says he's terrified. I can't do that. It was, oh, hey. 1 second. Dwarfstress, thank you so much for that raid. Welcome in, Raiders.
Welcome, welcome.
Second raid of the day.
Hello. Welcome. My name is Christopher Guadalajara Mitsushi.
Guadalajara. That's just great. That's
just
good.
Great.
Guadalajara Masucci, everybody. They actually don't leave their holes often. That's, Lumberjack, it was because it had big rainstorm, right? And every time, I know it happens every time there's a rainstorm.
Yeah, every time it rains, they mobilize because their holes are
not
filled
even
up
just
with...
that. At my house gets that off of the little mountain I live next to. Gets so much wildlife. It just, everything comes up from the nooks and crannies, and it's not fun. But I took a leaf blower and blew him away, and man, he run. Was not good.
I've not had to experience them in any shape or form, really, other than maybe seeing one or two out in the wild across my existence.
They're cool.
Since Dallas and my grandmother.
They eat the bugs, so I didn't want to kill it, but it was not welcome on my patio.
A little too close.
I would otherwise keep them on the patio because I have a lot of plants there. So Anyway, Ted Onion says, so about a year ago, I ordered a Winsor Newton Series 7 number 2 sable brush. I let it sit on my bench until just a few days ago because I wanted to learn how not to kill brushes before using it. When I finally cracked it open, it has a bunch of 10 plus bristles that spilled out around the side of the brush. Do you still recommend trimming brushes like you showed in video from 7 years ago?
You can. I will be honest with you, at the point where it's already shedding, there may be a bigger problem. There are cases where the bundling of the bristles doesn't take, and bristles will continue to fall out. So as crappy as it sounds, you're going to need to like pull on some other bristles to see if you can recreate the shedding. And if you do, typically that doesn't stop. Typically you'll find a way that you'll continue to pull on them, and then they will continue to come out, and that brush won't be good for anything. So before you go cutting anything, make sure that's not the case. I know it doesn't really matter at this point. If you've had it so long and haven't tried it, then there's really probably no warranty to it.
Yeah.
But, you could, and I feel like this, I don't know where you bought it. I know that I've had people order them on Amazon before, and if you're comfortable with it, you can order another one of the same exact size and then return the old one, since if you really haven't used it. Return the old one, get a new one. That way you still wind up with two. You don't waste your money.
Ted Onion says, not shedding, sorry, splaying.
Oh, splay. Yeah, definitely then. If it won't go back to a point, if you use I would clean it with our brush soap, recondition it because it's been sitting for so long, and you can imagine what your natural hair would do if you just kind of didn't do anything with it and sat around for a couple of years. So there's a world where you might be able to condition it back to some form of shape and not feel like you have to trim stuff off of it. So give that a go first, I think.
He is not lining up rainbow trout as a standalone in the paint range, but he is thinking about eclectic salmon. NK Heyman.
Heck yeah.
Are you going to name it eclectic salmon?
Probably put it on the chat. Help him out.
Flavor text.
We've talked this
But
through.
I thought you were putting pink trout as the flavor text.
We've talked this through.
You're not. I thought you were naming it. The flavor text is pink trout. Right.
And the real name is eclectic salmon.
Right. Okay. I'm making sure. Because what would be the actual name for that color?
Probably something like salmon.
Because salmon is a color, right?
Yeah.
Is there a release date for eclectic salmon? Asked Papa Chicken.
Hey, Chris?
Yeah.
What does it sound like when you pop a chicken? I never understand the bell. It loses me at the bell part.
This one?
Yeah, I don't understand how when you pop a chicken you get a bell sound. Do they all have bells in them? Are they like dog toys?
There's
like some little squeaker in them or something?
They might.
Makes no sense to me. Chat, make it make sense.
Papa Chicken, no. There's not a release date yet for it. No. Now.
Nope.
The bright orange flesh, the Xenobond. Okay, bright orange flesh?
No, it's not very orange.
It's more red.
Yeah. The whole thing is salmon.
It's salmon. It's an eclectic salmon. And Evans is asking for a recap. What paints have you used for this non-metallic metal workup?
This all started with dark yellow-green from our line, obviously. Dark yellow-green is a base. Then into orange-yellow over the top of that. And then bright yellow ochre. And then now we're using bright pale yellow.
Okay.
That's all.
Oh. In my head, it sounded like a rubber chicken, but louder and louder. Okay. Yeah, louder and longer. A rubber chicken. That's what I don't have here.
When you pop a chicken?
Yeah.
But is that a chicken or is that a rubber toy?
I think, good point.
A chicken-shaped toy.
Rubber chicken sounds make me laugh, so that's why I don't have one. But now I feel like I need one for the stream. Because there are
you
certain
hate to
things.
Laugh? I don't understand.
No, it's because I need to make sure that this remains a serious business paint stream.
Okay,
and
you fell off that train a long time ago.
If I had a rubber chicken, all hell would break loose.
I still fail to see how that's any different than where we're at right now.
We are serious.
Okay.
And
Chat,
by
for those of
I
you that
mean
are just
you.
finding us for the first time, welcome to the most serious painting stream on the internet.
I would say with a wholeheartedly, that is 100% fact.
One of the longest running serious paint streams on the internet.
I would say so. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But there are some people in here who have been here for 103 months. That's a long time. Rubber chicken, but I barely know her. Thank you, Wad.
Okay, now that
was Wad.
That's good.
And that was beautiful. Props to you, Wad. Rubber chicken.
I hardly know her.
Serious stream less Jason. I vote we ban Jason for not being serious enough.
I'm never serious.
Oh, he's serious. Jason means serious business.
Serious business.
The serious of paint streams. That's right. Wired, that is perfect.
The thing with us is that you never know who's going to be color and who's going to be commentary for the day. Sometimes it's Chris trying to reel me in, and most of the time it's me trying to reel Chris in.
No way, dude.
Oh, by far.
It's 50-50.
Not even.
What?
No.
No.
I'm usually the one where people in chat are like, oh, God, Jason's done.
Grizda Offerson says, do you have any tips on painting translucent skin? Is the technique similar to painting freckled skin, like Surfer Gal, looking to have veins showing through? Ooh.
Yeah,
translucent skin. That's a good question.
Yeah, the way that we do the underpainting for normal flesh tones or any flesh tones works really well for translucent skin if you're trying to do something like, I can imagine like some sort of fish character or something like that, or alien.
And having the veins look through, yeah.
Yeah, you would have to do something probably a little more intense for the underpainting, and by intense meaning more color, more contrast for the veins and things that you do underneath. There's also a world where you can paint the skin to get it the color you want. So if it's very pale or whatever color alien flesh you're doing, and then after you have the color you want, go ahead and paint the veining on, right?
Yeah.
And then go back over the veining with a glaze of the skin tone again to sink it underneath. This is a common way that I paint tattoos. When I'm doing tattoos on models, you get the flesh all finished, then you paint the tattoo on, and then you glaze back over the flesh with a little bit of whatever mid-tone color you used, and re-highlight areas as needed if you darken it up too much. Because tattoos are underneath the skin, and so you want to make sure that you put a thin glaze of skin tone over the top of them to make it feel as such. If you just paint the tattoos on the top of the flesh, it tends to look even more fake because it looks like you just painted something on the skin.
Grizz, hopefully that answers your question. Flapjack says, Chris, you should get serious business tattooed on your knuckles. Don't ask me how it would fit. And I replied with, might need more knuckles for that. And then Houdini said he has toe knuckles. That's true.
No, serious business is just SRS.
No, serious business. No, is that 10? I didn't count.
You only have 8 knuckles, by the way. Just gonna throw that out there.
Well, couldn't I put it on my? I guess you couldn't put it on your thumb because you could do it like on the side.
Doesn't face the right direction.
That's right. I guess not.
I may know a little bit about this, Chris.
That's true. Flapjack was saying, don't ask me how that would fit. I see. We'll fit it on there. Why not?
We'll make it work, damn it.
Only if Jason does it.
Serious business.
No, I know what I'm getting on my knuckles.
SRSBZNS. It fits. And then you actually have one knuckle left over on your first hand.
Well, that
and
would
you
be
can put like a little heart.
A winky face.
A winky face.
Hired says SRS. Yeah, that's what Jason just said. SRSBSNS. Serious biz! Exclamation mark. There you go. All right, I'll do it. You heard it here, folks.
He won't do it.
If Jason does it, I'll do it.
Why do I already have my knuckles. I got to do it on my 4 knuckles?
No, you're doing it on mine.
Oh, I got to do your... Oh, okay.
And the reason why he's not going to is because he's not going to do that. So I probably won't get it done.
Oh, I'll do it.
I don't think you will.
Now Jen's going to get a tattoo from me to open it up so I can tattoo everybody else because I want to tattoo 2 things on Chris.
It's not going to happen.
One of which is on his tramp stamp, he gets
Harsh
but fair.
Harsh but fair.
And then on his knuckles, he's going to get serious business.
Yeah, serious business. That's right. Mechanized Imposter says, when Chris says serious business, I think of a legitimate businessman explaining what they do. Yes, it's serious business. What I do here is more serious business than you might think, chat. Doing what we're doing right now.
Chris is very serious.
I'm very serious business.
Very serious business focused when he's here.
Yeah. Chat will pull together and buy the tattoo gun for Jason. But that's what I'm saying. Unless Jason has to get Gen 1. So I guess I'll get in line.
I have all my machines.
That'll activate my process.
I don't have ink. And I haven't tattooed in quite some time, so I need to practice quite a bit before I felt comfortable doing it to people I love.
You probably could just pick it up pretty quick, though, right?
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't have to do much. I would tattoo something on my thigh and then be ready to roll.
All right. You heard it here, folks.
Been there, done that.
I'm ready to go.
Got the t-shirt.
That'll activate me having my tattoos. It's an interesting first tattoo location. But hey, if it's for the people.
Your knuckles?
It's a very... Like,
do you have other tattoos? Nope.
Or do I?
I have my tramp stamp and these knuckles.
And my left butt cheek is tattooed.
What are we tattooing on your left butt cheek?
No, it's already tattooed.
What do you have on it?
Hang loose with a winky face.
Yeah, cool. He has an aloha monkey right across his
I
schvink.
think that's from a movie. I can't remember which movie, but...
He's got the aloha monkey on his schvink.
Ooh. No, Jason will not be giving out tattoos at any cons anytime soon, I don't think.
I think that goes against terms of service.
That's a whole different con. How is your first tattoo and not a Majora's Mask tattoo? Because I don't know if I would put a lot of meaning in the tattoos. I just like pretty things, so. But serious business is serious business.
Chris would literally just have floral tattoos from head to toe if he could.
Probably.
I feel like.
I just like plants and flowers. So.
I just like plants.
That's all, man.
I just like plants.
So what are you going to do with the... are all those other bits going to be steel? Is that why you darkened them? Yeah, all the
Payne's Gray stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used the Payne's Gray from our expert acrylics because it's a little bit darker.
Oh, I was going to ask.
And then I'll go back over that with blue black. Then I say regular Payne's Gray and blue black are too close. But with the Payne's Gray from the expert acrylics, I can then go blue black, and I can wind up doing a highlight over the top of this and keep it a really dull steel color. So that is the next step. Great segue, Chris.
Thanks, man.
Paid professional.
Now, never mind.
Fazow!
I was just about to ask. No.
Don't ask.
I won't ask. I'm going to let you do your process, because I'm like, well, why wouldn't you do the trim on the other dreadnought? The gold trim on the other dreadnought.
Because I haven't decided. Remember, we had this conversation, Chris. I hadn't decided whether I was doing the other one in silver.
And that's why I stopped. Because I'm like, gosh.
There's still a part of me that because the silver looks so good on these guys, right? Because for those of you in chat that don't know, here is the evolution of this. Here's the guy. This is the guy. This is the test model. This is what sold me that I was like, all right, this is what we're doing, chat. We're making Blood Angels. Yeah. We're doing a force of Blood Angels that's nothing but, I don't remember, I think it's down to like 54, 57 dudes and a Thunderhawk and 2 Dreadnoughts. So.
It's a great band name.
But we got
57
So we got
dudes
gold
in a
trim
Thunderhawk.
as all the veterans, and then I was like, oh, but some of the regular dudes could have silver, because as I was looking through like all the Horus Heresy color combos and stuff, a lot of the Blood Angels have like silver and stuff. So I was like, well, that looks really good, so I'm gonna leave that. So we have a squad that's done in silver, and then a bunch of squads will be done with the gold trim, and then gold trim. But we also have a guy that could have silver trim.
Oh, that knee face thing is so dope.
It is.
It would be dope. It
kind of really wants to be gold, though.
I think steel would be cool, or silver. I guess
know.
what's the big? You would paint steel and silver.
I don't know. I feel like both the dreadnoughts want to be gold. My initial goal before I messed up was that all of the veterans and the real high-ranking dudes would be wearing the gold, and then for some reason I just got on a roll and we painted that assault squad with the layers of gold. I could go back on that assault squad and turn them silver, which is why I haven't painted them gold. That's why we moved here. So there's a lot going on in my head that you're thinking about as you're building an army, because it's a good place to segue or to talk about it. Whenever I build an army, I want to make sure that maybe not each unit, but I do want some differentiation on the table, especially when you have things like Space Marines and every model technically looks exactly the same, right? And so how do you break that monotony on the table up? How do you know what units are what when you're looking at you walk away and you come back to the table? How do you know which unit is which when you're going to move? So weapon loadouts and stuff, but a lot of my guys are chainsword bolt pistol, so they all have the same weapon loadout too. So how do I tell one assault squad versus another generic assault squad? So I think I may go back on the other assault squad we started painting gold on and do what I did over here and paint them all silver.
Okay, that makes
sense. And do
the
same thing. And then if I do that, then only my veterans have gold trim, which is the whole rest of the army, unfortunately, because I only have 2 non-veteran units. So then the only silver that would be on it would be the 2 regular assault squads.
That makes sense.
And that's my leaning right now. I have 2 regular assault squads, all these dudes with gold, and that would be the only silver. The silver trim would be left for doodads and little doohickeys on them, because even the sergeants for the assault squads are veterans, right? And so this is the sergeant for this squad, so I'm going to do him in gold.
Yep. Right,
so I'll do the sergeants with gold trim on the assault squads, but the assault squads themselves with silver. I think that makes sense. So in my head canon, it makes sense.
Hey everybody, didn't Chris get goof from using the remote stream kill switch Friday? Remote stream kill?
We knew it was you. You haven't admitted it yet, but we're gonna get you to admit it.
What do you mean? Admit what?
About halfway through the stream, the computer just froze. Like you couldn't even turn it off. The mouse didn't move. Control-Alt-Delete didn't move. You couldn't bring up Task Manager, nothing. When you press the physical button on the computer, it wouldn't turn the computer off.
Oh.
Yeah. It just literally, like, the whole thing froze some reason.
Huh.
So I finally had to cut the power, turn the power back on, and then it booted up and ran fine. But it's really weird.
Everything just froze. I would ever have a process where if somebody was to turn the stream on, that I could remote into it and potentially do something to alter the course of where the ship was going at exactly 1 hour and 59 minutes and 15 seconds. But it was right on the
Told
dot.
you, chat.
No, I have no idea.
Told you, chat.
That's happened before here. It was with what does that sometimes is Windows updates. So if there's a Windows update, sometimes it will, from Gabe and I's understanding, right? If it's a bad update, sometimes OBS will freeze. That's what happened a couple weeks ago.
But the whole computer froze.
You didn't get a blue screen? Oh, that's different. I don't know.
I'm telling you, you couldn't push the physical button on the computer.
That's witchcraft.
That's you craft.
That's
Chris Craft. He just said it. It's Chris Craft.
No, I would never do that.
Chris Craft is actually a line of boats.
Chris Craft is a line of boats. Along with Sea Nymph?
Sounds like someone was tinkering with settings on Friday. Yeah, Chris from his house. He's like, oh, I'll teach him.
Of course.
Oh, they think they'll stream without me? No. Oh, I'll take care of it.
I want to empower Jason to be able to do that.
That's what he did. He sat there and stewed.
No,
Googling on the internet, AI, please help me.
No.
They have decided to stream without me. How do I take revenge?
Here's what I was
thinking.
thinking.
And AI came back with a script that could be run remotely. All he had to do was patch in.
I'm gonna be very clear. While you were streaming, there were 3 things that were coming up on my head. This is honest. Like, okay, first off is he doesn't know how to turn the black magic on. That must have been a process, because I didn't watch. I saw it come up. I'm like, how did the black magic turn on if you didn't know how to turn that camera on? That was my number one. How did he do that?
Well, this one comes on automatically.
That one does. This one does not. I physically turn the button on.
I pressed every button on it.
And then you eventually flip the switch.
And eventually I flipped the switch that was the correct one. It was like a blind man leading the blind. I just was like, I pressed everything until something, I go, well, what is this thing that like moves? And it went clack, and the thing came out. I was like, ta-da!
The second part is I have my super zoom buttons right here, not up there. So I have 200% and 500.
So I may or may not have cursed the Guadalajara McSushi name because you have an empty button pad there that should be up here.
I know, and that's why I'm like, oh, we have never had to do it because I'm always here. And I'm like, oh, I'll get to it. But then I'm like, well, if Jason's not here, then that's my bad. See, I understand. There is a button pad right here that Jason needs. Unused because I'm like, hey, I'm here. So I need to empower Jason to be able to stream by himself. Or call me.
We had a lot of fun. It was great. It was great.
No, I did not launch any attacks.
Damage Inc. says, would love to see a more mid-tone purplish blue in the range with a future expansion. I feel like the range has a lot of good blues and greenish blues, but not a lot of blues on the purple side. Oh. A more mid-tone purplish blue. Okay, yeah. You don't like the ultramarine? For me, ultramarine takes that spot, but we can look at some stuff that would work.
You guys give me too much credit. I'm not a 1980s computer hacker. That is rare. So
the reason it happened 2 hours in is he had to watch Matthew Broderick's War Games
oh my gosh.
Before it would before he could register how to pull it all off. Would you like to play a game?
Well, would you like to play a game? Yeah. Uber Macro just said the same thing. That's funny. But speaking of funny, and speaking of 1980s hacking that Chris did not do on Friday, I was happy. I was like, okay, he figured that out and without any teaching. So
it turns out I'm still fairly capable.
You've been able to do it.
I started this on my own.
I just need talent to focus on talent stuff, that's it. I need Jason focusing on talent. Chris will deal with the buttons. But when Chris isn't here, then I need to fix that. My processes need fixing, chat. Fantastic said, you made your own coffee and you stream by yourself?
Holy hell, chat. Listen to this.
Jen,
Whoa. Listen to this, chat. I don't know. No, the chat doesn't know this.
I don't know either.
So Friday.
Oh, man.
No, Saturday. What happened? We're not going to do any painting today, I have a feeling.
No, you must paint.
So here's the deal. The lovely Jentastic every morning gets up, makes my coffee.
That's right.
Makes her own coffee, too, but she makes coffee for us in the morning. I usually feed the dogs.
Yeah.
And she makes coffee. And so she made, this is a religious thing, and it's caused us to not have to go to Starbucks anymore. We just don't go get coffee because she makes brilliant coffee.
Yeah.
And she finds really good decaf beans for me, and she grinds them up. We have a cappuccino machine or whatever it is.
A Breville?
Yeah, Breville, yeah, right? And she loves this machine. We got her. And so she makes this amazing coffee. She is the world's best barista. And she left me this weekend.
Oh, Jen. Where'd she go?
I don't know. She hasn't spoken to me since.
Oh, she just did.
So she left to go on a trip this weekend with some friends of hers, and it didn't dawn on me until late on Friday that I don't have the ability to make coffee because she's never taught me like Chris. Okay, so Chad, I want you to understand first the kind of life that I have to live. Of these people take and never give. They don't allow me. I don't know that it's because I'm not trustworthy or they think I'm just a buffoon and can't learn. But all these people leave and don't leave me any keys to the technology. I don't know, and I have to figure it out on my own.
Oh my gosh.
So Saturday, I woke up and I was sitting there. I fed the dogs, and the dogs are looking at me with their tails wagging like, "What's next, Dad?" And they must have read my mind, as dogs do, and they knew that I was having to think about the trip to Starbucks.
Oh.
And I was already in my head thinking about, I have to move my car to get Jen's car, because Jen's car can hold the dogs and has the ramp in the back to put the dog in the back. So I'm like, oh, that's a lot of effort because then I got to leave one of them in while I get the other one in the car, and then leave the one in the car while I wrestle the other one in and get the other one set. And I was like, this is not what I'm built for. But I'm wrestling. I'm like, I really want coffee, and I feel bad because I could give the dogs a ride. I could let the dogs get a ride, and I really love doing that. But I was like, this is a struggle for me, folks. I need my partner here because it makes this lots easier. But if my partner were here, she'd make the damn coffee. And so I text her, and I was like, it's too early. It wasn't even like 8 a.m. Right? It's like 7:30 a.m. on a Saturday, and I'm like, I'm texting her anyway. Whenever she gets it, she gets it. And if I've gone to Starbucks by then I can at least make coffee tomorrow. I sent it to her, and I looked down a few minutes later, and she sent this wall of text, and I was like, the biggest sigh of relief ever. I was like, she's teaching me. And so I nailed it. I made coffee, and it was great. So I ran through the machine, made the coffee. Everything was great. And now we're off and running, so I know how to make coffee. I know how to run the stream.
Did you see? Here's the problem, though.
So now I'm going to take over the world.
Jason, you could have asked, Chris, how do I turn stream on? And I would have directed you to my folder that said, help, stream's not on. You have a folder for it. But you were protecting my day off, which I appreciate, because that's why you didn't do it. Otherwise, you would have just texted me and be like, Chris, how do I turn the camera on?
It's hard for me. It's hard for me to ask for help, number one, in general. It's harder when I know it's your day off and I don't want to bug you.
Which I've told you.
It was hard for me to send Jen that text in the morning.
Of course.
Because I was like, she's on vacation. She needs to have her beauty rest. She likes sleeping in. I'm not going to text her. But luckily she was up and she taught me how to do coffee. So there you go.
That's hilarious.
That's my life right now.
I'm going to go back to this question. I've been painting for about 2 years now and still cannot get blending down. Do you have any advice?
Mad McGruff, Chris is going to link a video that will show you the magic. In a very short package.
Just do this one?
Just do this. I swear it'll get you going. It's only one way to blend. It's not the definitive way to blend, but it is a way to blend that will literally, I hope, make a light bulb go off, and it will get you in the right direction forever. It's the way I paint 99% of the stuff that I paint. So,
Jason started Monument Hobbies.
That would be me. And Jen. Jen, who's in chat, my partner Jen, we started Monument Hobbies technically we started the company in 2016, and then we switched to the name Monument Hobbies in 2018.
Mm-hmm. No more need for Chris. This is true. I have folders in place, so I needed...
Ravula says, hang in there, Jason. It'll get better. That was a pat on the head right there. That was a,
Jason
don't
knows
worry, little one.
If I got a text and be like, hey, you want to stream today? I probably would have gotten up.
No, and I know you would have. You know what? I know this about you, and that's exactly why I didn't do it.
Which means I need to empower
And you know
Jason.
what? There was a lot of inbuilt satisfaction with doing the stream because I knew it would be a good shtick to lambast you throughout the stream. That's good comedy.
I guess I got to go back and watch that stream.
That was good comedy. Chat got a kick out of it. The only problem is that we had quite a few people on, and I'm really horrible when I get tunnel vision into painting.
Right.
At paying attention. So the only thing that I know that was really bad about the stream was that without Chris here, he fields all the questions.
Yeah, and then, there are things that, and I'm so grateful, chat, for when you re-ping me, especially when there's a bunch coming in at once. So never feel like you're calling me out. I really do appreciate it when you re-ping a question.
Oh yeah, you have
Lumberjack,
to.
Okran, you guys are really good at that.
Stuff goes by so quick that we need support from time to time to make sure we get it out, because we are not trying to ignore you. This is a good place to segue that in. If you ever ask a question in chat, you don't feel like you got attention to it, just re-ask. Make sure to tag at Monument Hobbies. That's Chris's way to look at the stream and know 100%. That he calls attention to it. But a lot of the community members will also do that. We are not trying to not pay attention to you. Your questions are very important to us.
Panic bomb. Oh, Chris, you absolutely got buried by chat. Buried by chat Friday.
Was it that bad?
I'm sure. Hey, the slings and arrows.
I think I even mentioned the slings and arrows on Friday.
Hey,
I think I brought up that. Well,
Chad,
Chris is the man of slings and arrows. So
my biggest thing is I want to make sure that everybody is learning something. That is number one, and B, having a good time. Because if you are going to give us your time and space and energy, we want to make sure you're learning something and you're having fun. Now, I would say it's 80% learning, 20% fun. Or, depending on my mood or Jason's mood, sometimes those fluctuate. But our goal here is 80-20. Would you concur, Doctor?
Is that me?
Yeah.
Sure.
Or we tried to.
What'd you say?
Yes. I said, no, you heard me.
What? I'm deaf in my left ear.
No, just in general, where I'm like, okay, 80% of the time we want you to learn something. 20% of the time we want you to have fun. We
100%.
we want both.
100% of the time.
This is your opportunity to ask.
60% of the time it works every time.
Urban Macro says Saturday was a very informative stream. You mean Friday? Learned a lot. Maybe not about painting, but whatever. Hey, as long as you learn something, like I said, sometimes you learn a little bit about culture or
we had a good
culture.
therapy moment on Friday. We talked a lot.
What was that?
Good moment of therapy.
What was the moment?
You'd have to go back and watch it.
Did you write down a note for me at the timestamp?
No. Is that my job?
No. But I have a beautiful stream log here. It's okay. I didn't teach you that. So
it's over there too with that button pad that I didn't have. So
and 100% of the time I'm confused by Chris's percentages. Perfect. Darth, that's exactly where I'd like you. Is learning not fun? Learning is fun, but the pee-pee poo-poo jokes sometimes are fun or sometimes they're not fun. So we wanted to lean heavily on your learning.
It is so hard, even as a grown-ass man, to not giggle anytime you hear pee-pee poo-poo. It is just so hard. And I don't, it's so hard. I hope, that's another one of those that I just wish for everybody, is that every time you hear someone say pee-pee poo-poo, that you just giggle a little.
Oh, man.
Just be that. Let that into your life.
Vipus says, how are you tracking these 80-20 numbers to make this statement? Vipus, we need more of you. I like that question. How am I tracking these? Now, I'll give you a little BTS.
He does polls.
So I do the survey, which is great. That helps me. There were real questions in that survey. And like I said to Mo the other day, I have read every single one of those surveys.
He really has.
And I take them to heart. The other way is I have a stream log over here, because that's why I always ask you on questions, because I'm also typing in my stream log for our editor, Ryan, so that I'm like, ooh, that was a great bit on Jason talking about painting an army, or a note for that video coming up. So that's how I keep track. Brent, the programmer, says, first time chat, welcome in.
Welcome.
I finally got caught up on all the Blood Angel streams, so I thought I could finally join the live stream.
Freaking awesome.
That's cool. Even if I was an hour late, thank you, Jason and Chris. Since I started watching your VODs, I've learned so much new stuff and been inspired to try new things. You guys are fantastic.
Hey, thank you for giving us a watch and putting up with our nonsense and joining our amazing little community. Hopefully you enjoy your stay and we continue to offer you some really cool light bulb moments throughout your painting journey. That's all. The only reason we do this is to help you guys find some inspiration and hopefully latch onto some techniques that push your painting forward. That's the goal. Always feel free, whether you're a new painter, old painter, been doing it forever, or just starting, feel free to ask questions if there's something that doesn't make sense or you want to contribute. You guys drive as much of the content on our channel as we do. So join in, have fun, make friends, welcome to the Monument Hobbies way of life. You're part of it now, whether you like it or not, Chet.
Beef Daddy and Dark Mockery, thank you for those subs. And I'm not laughing at your name, Beef Daddy. It's
kind of like pee-pee poo-poo. It makes me laugh.
I know. Vippa says you're having some PTSD from your naked 4-year-old realizing he had pooped too late and ending up on the carpet. No poo-poo jokes. Well, that's real life. You are in the wrong
place.
Oh, boy. And that's cool, Brent. I'm so glad you were able to follow up on those streams. Again,
that's great.
This is your place to ask questions. NK Heyman says, because of you guys, I sat here 11 p.m. painting Easterling's Dark Jade to dry brush their bronze armor as per your tutorial. Would never have tried that without the stream. Cool.
Oh, isn't it great? Hopefully that turned out great. It's such a good look.
Yeah.
And quick is the thing, right? Those are real cheats. Those are things that get your models looking fantastic with so little effort.
Which one? Oh, the Dark Jade.
Like the tarnished bronze, I think.
Yep. Yeah, that's why we do it. So, Streamlog, shouldn't you be doing that in the bathroom, says Panic Bomb?
Whoa, hey,
I understand what you're saying there, but I have a very business-oriented
That's a poop joke.
Streamlog.
Streamlog.
I have a Streamlog. There's a lot going on.
Huh?
There's a lot going on behind the scenes, chat.
None of which includes the bathroom.
But we will be eventually sponsored by Depends, which would actually be not far away.
I need you to stop with that whole line of thinking.
No more sponsors.
I need to hold off Depends as a sponsor for as long as possible, please.
That's true. Can't be worse than pee-pee poo-poo accidents. Yes, I know. Yikes. Hey, that's a great segue into talking about armies, and the main reason why we're doing this is to show you guys that, A, Jason can finish an army. We know this. B, hopefully you're getting inspired to do this yourself. I'm getting inspired with my Thunder Warriors. I just started putting Chance just finished more prints, so I'm starting to organize all of that. So for the next hobby night, I will have something that's not my Titan to bring to hobby night. So I will have that, right? So
he said that with some conviction.
I will. Zilfer says, I'll be honest. I'm a noob enough at painting, zero art background, started minis about a year ago.
Cool.
That when I first tried PA on a flooded wet palette and didn't get that hype, your streams not only taught me how to use Procryl and fix my technique and cover PA to my favorite, to converted PA to my favorite, gotcha. Nice. But it was also has just consistently made me better painting in general. That's great. That's the whole point.
That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it's it's one thing when you make you make a great product, but if people can't use it, it isn't great. And we know that our product is different. We made it different on purpose. There was a saturated market that continues to be more and more saturated by run-of-the-mill paints that all try to do the same thing just with different colors. And we made a goal of, creating a paint. Jen and I always said we wouldn't ever make paint. And then we created something that was different, and our tune changed because we're like, we have something that I think brings a nuance to painting that is different. But it also requires us to teach how to use it because it is different enough. And for people that don't have, which I believe most people that join the hobby, I can't expect them to have an understanding of general, fine art. I'm not a trained artist. I always joke about how the only classes I ever didn't pass in school were my 2 art classes, right? And so I'm with you on that. I just like to do cool stuff with models, and whether it was tanks growing up or planes or now, Space Marines, whatever it is, I just want to be able to impart to people a cool way to get really good quality painting done in that time you spend doing it, whatever your version of good means. Yeah. It's not the same to everybody, and that's very valid,
Yeah, and I 100% agree. The getting paint on the model for me has been very beneficial at any level, right? Look at my little journey going from not wanting to paint to I'm itching to paint.
Yeah.
And the tool really helps, honestly. But Jason, did you mention how big my Thunder Warriors were on stream?
Too big.
Have you seen them? You have seen them. I was painting them at Nova. Those are my leaders. But my new ones are actually a really fun size. I started putting some on some bases, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a really cool army.
Good. No, I think they're going to look great.
Oh, especially when they're mowing down units of men.
They're just comically big.
But they're cool. Muffin Truck. Hey, Muffin Truck, we met at Nova. Thanks for speaking up in chat. I'm going to make my Death Guard a cool desaturated green scheme, minty green. What PA colors would you suggest? Minty green.
Minty green, when I think about it, I'm thinking like camo and faded green or bright pale green tend to get you there. The bright pale green is probably the minty style look. And then camo green with bright pale green mixed in to get you there, and through faded green would give you a really good way to do that. You could get some good desaturated greens along the way and then poke up the value for your highlights is a great way to do it. But I would have to get a better visual understanding of what your in-game looks like, right? When somebody comes to me with a color scheme like that, it's hard for me to just say, oh, these colors are great, because I need to know what you think that looks like. What is finished and done and good look like to you? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because a color can be viewed by everybody differently. So I think camo greens into the bright pale greens give a really good minty color, but you may think of mint in a different way and may want more blue green in it.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know.
Dipolar says, I always thought I would hate painting and made my wife do all my painting, something she enjoys, but after watching stream for 6 months and learning, I decided to pick up a brush and try it out myself. I've really, really enjoyed it.
That's
nice.
Awesome.
That's cool.
How much even better is that? I hated painting. Now I do it.
Well, I was.
Chris was the same.
I was very much in that same boat. It was a necessity, not a fun.
Right, not something that you picked up because you're like, you know what I want to do today.
Now it's literally the opposite. I'm now thinking of how things will look cool for the army that I'm building, and then if I play once, I'm fine. But as long as the army looks good and I've painted it.
100%. That's exactly what we're doing here.
I love playing the games.
I have less of a care nowadays than even a year or two ago with how an army plays.
Yeah.
And just more of a care about having fun painting it, especially with armies, right? When talking about individual models, I don't think there's ever an issue, but with armies, it becomes something that I have to feel inspired about the way they're going to look, because the way they play is almost irrelevant to me.
Yeah.
I know that I don't have enough time inside my life during any given period to play enough to only buy an army for the way it plays on the table. I don't travel to tournaments anymore. I used to with War Machine and Infinity, but I don't do that anymore. And since stopping to, consider the gaming side like that, it just doesn't make sense for me to look at it and say, oh gosh, the rules for, Gene Stealer cults are so good, I'm going to paint up some Gene Stealer cults. I just don't care anymore. I'm like, no, you know what? I'm going to paint a bunch of jump pack Blood Angels that are going to get absolutely handed their butts on the field, and I'm going to have fun doing it anyway, because I guarantee I won't play them very much, but they will look good in the case. Regardless of how horrible they are or good they are on the battlefield, they will look great in the case. That's my goal with this army.
100%. Derpstick says, what PA color is closest to classic terracotta pot color? And I said burnt umber. Would you agree?
Burnt umber and or burnt sienna. It depends on how red. When you say classic terracotta pot, that's kind of like saying khaki. There's literally a tremendous amount of terracotta.
I guess that's true.
It can be more red or more earthy browns. So I would agree. Either burnt umber or burnt sienna will get you where you're looking to be. A mix of the two might even be better. We thought at one point in time that burnt umber would be called terracotta, but there were too many reddish, more red versions of terracotta out there, and I was like, I don't want to do that in our naming convention, because people might buy it with an expectation of it being more red than it is.
A different color, because there are
more red, yeah.
November says, I tried to get other people to paint my minis for over a decade with no success. Finally picked up the Wonderlands Warboard game and said, fine, I'll figure it out. Somehow lucked into picking up Procryl base set, and now I've hardly even bothered with any other brands. The stream has been a godsend of how to use specifically PA paints. Yes, that's what we're here for.
Awesome. Yeah, and the things that we talk about here, a lot of people are like, well, I don't use Procryl. Is what you just said still going to work? And I'm like, 100%.
Yep.
There's very little that I do here that doesn't work the exact same way with other paint lines. Procryl will just be more efficient at doing the things that I do, because we built the paint itself technically to be able to do things easier. And so you might see me do something that when you go to use another paint line, you're like, it took me an extra couple of coats to do what you did, but I got it to work. And that's fine. That's why I don't focus a lot on, okay, this will be exactly, this mix and exactly this many coats. It's like you just do it, and I try to tell you what to look for as you're moving the brush. Stop when you get something that looks like this, or, so on and so forth. So that no matter what paint you're using, you still have the knowledge that you learn on the stream of what to look for to call start and stop with whatever product you're using. Because I, honest to God, don't care what paint you're using. I say to people all the time that they get blown away at conventions when I say what's the best paint? Or do you guys really make the best paint? I'm like, well, technically the best paint is the one that gets the job done to the point where you really love your effort. And if it's somebody else's paint, great.
Yeah.
If it's our paint, even better. But whatever it is, I just want to inspire you to pick up the brush, start painting, try new things, because if you don't push yourself, painting can get really stale.
Yep.
It could be something that isn't fun, that isn't something that makes you want to get up and do it all the time. And, go by the rule of cool, play with the colors you like, have fun, paint more.
Stan, thank you so much for that sub. Here's a question. Hey guys, I heard Infinity mention, would you be painting any minis from Infinity or any other Corvus Belly minis? I would like to see you tackle those as they have a different size.
The only thing we've painted from Corvus Belly in the recent past was the bear.
Yeah, the Warcrow.
From Warcrow, right? We painted up the whatever limited edition bear that came with the Warcrow introductory bundle. I had a lot of fun with this. This is like the whole reason why I backed it, was to get the bear. He's rad. He's
a cool bear.
Yeah, so we painted the bear and had a lot of fun with him. I used to paint Infinity all the time. I played competitively here in the States, and when I stopped, I just kind of didn't really look back. I had stopped painting. I had Eugene and Combined Army and JSA. I think I had some other stuff too, but maybe some Hawk. But I haven't paid attention to it in a long time. It doesn't mean that I wouldn't paint the models. There are some models I really like. I think that in general, my beef with Infinity is that the models are too samey across factions. So it lacks a little bit of creativity for me as a painter to find rule of cool all the time. Not impossible. It's just tougher. Because I look at them and I'm like, yeah, Pano looks like all the rest. Eugene was kind of the one amongst the human-y factions that I liked. And then I got into Combined Army because they had the Morat and a bunch of the groups that you could do some really fun stuff with. So I've seen they've done some new Morat, and I'm really into Morats. I think they're great. So yeah, maybe we'll pick up something cool. I don't know if they still make the Raijo or whatever the big Morat tag was. I think I would have fun painting the new. I think they do. I think they made a new sculpt for that. That could be a lot of fun. So yeah, there's a never say never around here, because I technically on stream we are doing rule of cool painting stuff that really appeals to me, that I think Chris and I sit down and say, hey, if we wanted to do a session on skin, what do we got? Or when I was at Contrast, I picked up the Surfer Girl model because I looked at it and immediately said, oh, I would love to paint this, and on stream this would be a great skin tutorial. Yep. So, we were able to take that and run with it. So a lot of times it's just a matter of what is going on. If you ever have a model or a group of world models that you think you would like to see painted, feel free to post them up in the Discord. Chris will give the Discord link. If you're not part of our Discord community, you can always tag me in the Discord and say, hey, I would really like to see you paint something like this. And I'll take a look at it. If it really appeals to me, then I'll find something, or I'll find something adjacent to it. If you are, like, say you do an Infinity and you throw me a Pano tag or something, you really want to see Pano painted. If I'm not really into the tag you put up there, I might find another one and be able to paint it in the same colors, because, it's not the color scheme that usually grabs me. It's the actual model.
Damaging says, any recommendations, any recommended type of application for someone's first ever time trying heavy body acrylics? I'm not sure what to try mine on.
So,
great question, by the way.
Base coating with some of the opaque ones, like the Payne's Gray. I base coated all these bits I'm painting right now, because the Payne's Gray from the Expert line is darker than the Payne's Gray from the Liquid line. And so I based all of that here so that you can use some of the colors, the opaque colors, for that. Mostly what I tell people to go into is, if you have anything that you're looking to do glazing on, then use it for glazing. Pick a color on a model that you're working on and glaze a shadow or a highlight on with one of the Expert acrylic colors. And you don't need a whole lot of water on your brush. You don't have to dilute them very much. People are continually surprised because the first thing they do when they pick up the Expert acrylics, they dilute the heck out of them, thinking that especially if they've used other heavy-bodied acrylics, because the first thing a heavy-body acrylic needs is a lot of water. And they try to turn it into a liquid paint. Don't do that with these. Right? Just a little bit of moisture on your brush. Treat them as if they are a liquid paint, is the way I tell people. Assume that it's not the paste paint that comes out of the tube. Assume it's a liquid acrylic. Thin it like you would normal Pro-Acryl, which means not a lot. Yep. And then start playing with it. You'll be blown away at what you can get out of these paints without having to dilute them a lot. And they give you so much more pigmentation right out of the gates, which is why glazing is so easy with them. So yeah. I think I try to push people into glazing, because if you aren't comfortable with glazing, you want to learn glazing, they are the best way to do that. They'll get you comfortable with the idea of how to apply a glaze onto a model, and then it'll just be with the liquid colors, just figuring out, opacity with them. But the expert acrylics, most of them are semi-opaque to start with anyway, so you don't have to worry about all that.
Beef Daddy says, looking at painting Heresy-era World Eaters and wondering if Payne's Gray would be a good shadow for a dark ivory base.
I could see doing the Payne's Gray for the base on for your entire World Eaters color scheme, because, if you go into the blue, the Payne's Gray is a no-brainer. And then on the white, I feel like it does a good job too. Although you could also say for them, because of the whole berserker attitude, and if you're going to blood splatter them and all that stuff, that you could do something like burnt sienna, like we did on the ultramarine, and get a more, like almost rusty undertone to them. But yeah, Payne's Gray worked great.
NK says, I found myself sitting in the base, wash, and layer conveyor belt style of painting. Watching your streams now have me trying glaze medium, underpainting, purple shadows, actually using my airbrush. That's awesome.
That's the kind of stuff I love to hear. It's not that you have to do these things all the time, right? Part of this where we're painting an army is showing you, like we've done some units here recently, and we did the ultramarine model, the captain, where it was like, okay, so I want to get something on the table quick, but I don't want to sacrifice quality. How do I do that? Yeah. Okay, so we have a quick method that showed you dry brushing and some other techniques that were really easy to pull through and make work for a Space Marine that you wanted to get painted in ultramarine colors quick, right? Still get good quality. Something I'd be proud to put on the table if I had a whole force like that, when your intent is to get your models done and play. Then there's stuff like this, where we're spending more time per model, more time on the whole army, because we want it to look higher end, but I still don't want to spend as much time as I would for, say, like a display model single figure, because I don't have that kind of time in my life, right? You, at some point in time, it just gets so monotonous. You're like, yeah, okay, 18 years later, I've got Blood Angels painted.
Right.
So it's just too much. So, we go through all of these different techniques and styles for army painting, and, you may use the airbrush for some to get it done quick. You may use the airbrush on some to make detail work. Just knowing the tools and not being afraid of the tools is the biggest step. And, like I said, there's nothing wrong with base, highlight, air, wash, and dry brush and all that. Those are great tools and can get you down the road really quick, really far. So don't forget about them, right? Just put them away and think in terms of, look at every model you're about to paint and say, okay, which tools fit the best to make this the thing I want it to be?
Yeah.
And that's, I think, where a lot of people get hung up, is that they'll get stuck on a style of painting and they'll feel like maybe their painting never changes. And I think I just spit on my mom. And and they don't feel like they're pushing it, and that can make painting boring, right? Because you'll be watching around as, maybe your friends or people you follow on the internet, their painting just keeps getting better and better and better and better and better, because they're pushing the limits and you're staying the same. So find those tools, use them sparingly at first as you learn them and get comfortable and confident in them. And then you can do anything you want. I can look at a model and say, what do I need this model to be for me today? Do I need this model to be, a display quality thing with the best, non-metallic metal I can muster and all that stuff? Or do I just need to get this paint job done? And so this is a good example of that. I want these Blood Angels to look good, but I don't want to spend as much time as I would for, single character models on everything. So we do what I tongue-in-cheek call wish.com non-metallic metal. We just move through it a little bit quicker, a little bit less concerned with smoothness of blends. You figure out, okay, where can I cut corners that don't cost me ultimate value at the end? They don't make my models look bad, And so I dry brush a little bit, and we airbrush a little bit, and we use all the tools. So having a fundamental understanding of all that stuff as you move along is key.
Damage says, even using the basic army painting methods on this stream still produces something way better than most forces I've seen at the LGS. Ha ha ha. Yeah. But, that's the thing, is that we also have that focused time. It can be whatever quality you want it to be, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what Jason's saying.
Well, and a lot of people just kind of, say that, oh, I don't really want to spend a lot of time. I just want my army done.
Yeah.
And so they immediately default to techniques that wouldn't get them the quality they want. Because I don't think there are people out there that want to spend any amount of time for an inferior product.
Oh, I would agree.
Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so no matter what your skill level is, we can teach you something that will raise the quality of your product regardless of how much time you want to spend. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it, is that I'm saying don't settle for less. You don't have to learn much more or spend much more time painting to get a much better quality paint job than you already are doing with something that is what most consider a very basic paint job. Huh. I'm not doing anything anybody else can do.
That's true.
I'm just going through and spending maybe a little bit more time on it. There's nothing like I could be dry brushing these colors on here.
Yeah.
If I said to myself, yeah, I want this to look good, but I'm okay to have a little bit of texture, then dry brushing might have been the way to apply this color right here. Of course, I've already done the red, so dry brushing is dangerous on a model that already has its base coats done, but you get my drift.
Yep.
You could have, looked at this and said, oh, yeah, there's another way I could do this quicker.
Imitation Margarine's first time chat. Welcome in. I've heard the saying tools not rules with regards to music composition. I think it fits with the mini painting 100%. As well.
Anything creative, I think, right? Anything in the world of art. I come tools, from a pedigree of music too. And it's like, when doing music, I was not a trained musician. And so I just kind of had to hack it through. And I felt like I had imposter syndrome for most of my time in the music biz because I just knew what I wanted something to sound like and didn't always know how to get it.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, because I had friends that were studied musicians, and they were like, I would be like, I want da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and they would go through and say, okay, boom, that's in this key and this thing and with this stuff, and I'm gonna play it, and then it came out, and then they adjusted it, and it was done in like a heartbeat. But they weren't around all the time, and so I'd be in my room at night, trying to do ba-da-do-ba-ba, and it didn't ever work because I didn't know all that. I didn't know what key and chords and all this. I just had to pluck around until I found it, and then make it up. And then they would be like, "Oh, what did you play that in?" And I'm like, "This," and I just have to play it, and they'd all laugh at me. So yeah, there was a little bit of imposter syndrome because it was less about the doing it correctly for me. I think is the way I would put it. Is that I didn't know what correct meant. I wasn't schooled and didn't want to spend the time to learn what correct meant. So I just did it.
Yeah.
I just banged around on the keys or on the strings until I got what I liked. And then, the people that were better than me would take it to the next step, but it always worked. And the same with painting is that there is no right way. There's as many ways to paint as there are painters painting, we always say. And so just grab onto the tools and play with them. You'll take a tool, I guarantee you stick with it. You will take a tool that we show you here on the stream. You will do something with it and hopefully share it back with us on our Discord in one of the challenges or something.
Yeah.
And be like, this is following your Blood Angels tutorial, where you painted up your Blood Angels. I just did this thing and I did it a little different. And I'll look at it and I'll be like, holy crap, that's awesome. I would have never thought of that. Right? Because I believe that empowered with tools, you'll build stuff that the people that empowered you would never have thought of.
Yeah.
Because you'll get creative. You'll say, oh, I have this thing. Why don't I just try and see if it works on this over here? There are a bunch of times where trained musicians would listen to stuff I played and be like, how did you know to play that? I would have never thought of that triplet right there. And I'm like, what's a triplet?
That's a good point.
I'm like, I don't know. It just sounded cool. Because sometimes not having I don't want to say your brain's clogged with the rules, but sometimes not knowing the rules allows you to be a little bit more freeform because we learn the rules and sometimes stick to them regardless of it maybe being the right time to break them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that there is a coolness and creativity that allows you, and I'm always saying, know the rules just enough to know how to break them and still have people, know what you were trying to do.
Virals just says sometimes there's a significant better outcome not following rules and experimenting.
Yeah, it could very well be, right? And it's never, I don't know how to tell you when, you don't always know. So I think that a lot of people will say it in different ways, but it's be brave, right? Throw paint on the model. Chris just said, just put paint on the model.
That's right. You just got to put paint on the model.
You just got to put paint on the model. And when you do, sometimes really crazy things happen. The meme, the Bob Ross meme, happy little accidents.
Yeah.
That's the truth, though. He would be like, whoops, we got this. Well, if I put a mountain there, and all of a sudden it looks totally different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imposter syndrome is a real thing. I have a hard time not comparing myself to professionals when I'm not or have not spent nearly as much time doing something as long as said professional. Guitar, mini painting are your two worst. Same for me. 100% raise my hand. However, when I've learned from this Army painting series, I've been able to apply pro-level stuff and get similar results. I've been handed the tools, and it's up to me to use them. Fantastic. Yeah, that's everything I was just trying to say. Don't be afraid of the tools, right? It's like if you go, some of them you have to learn, right? If we think about real tools, and I say real tools as if these are not, but if you go to the hardware store and you buy a table saw, you need to practice with that table saw and read more of the manual and watch more and get more instruction, or it's a danger to you, right? It can be a life-threatening danger. So there are tools, not in our hobby, you're not going to find any life-threatening dangers, I don't think. I mean, obviously there could be things like drills or sanders that could hurt you, or knives or whatever, right? But outside of that, the tools we're talking about how to move the paint and with a paintbrush on the model, whether it's airbrush or brush, those tools aren't going to be life-threatening to you, right? But they can be threatening to your sanity by making mistakes where you thought you were making progress, okay? And whereas a table saw, once you learn it, you can cut and maybe your cut goes a little awry because you forgot to tighten the fence down and your cut goes awry and you fix it, and yeah, that's a bummer. But with painting, it could happen at the point where it's not fixable, right? And can make you feel like you've wasted time, you're not having fun, this hobby's supposed to do more for me, it's not a job, yada, 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 yada. So there are still tools that you want to spend more time on before you just apply them willy-nilly, because they could cause you problems. Glazing over underpainted skin, it can cause you problems and cause you some headache. So we always talk about it in a free form, do it relaxed, do it on a model you don't care about, practice these things, yada, yada. Then stuff like dry brushing and all these other tools, sometimes you just get it, the light bulb goes off, you can use it on everything. Don't let people then, like, harsh your flow by saying that, dry brushing's for noobs, get with the pros. No, I dry brush. Some of the biggest pros in the world dry brush. It's just we know when to use the tool to get the best effect out of it. At some point in time, it stops being the only tool you have, and it becomes one of the many tools you have. And to remember what tools you have, and again, my garage is always the best analogy, because I'll walk out there, pull a drawer open in my toolbox, and be like, I forgot I had this. This makes life so much easier. And same with painting. If you don't learn the tools, then you don't have the toolbox to go through to go, I know there's a way that I can do this. Go back through the toolbox, think about it, go back and watch the videos, favorite some videos. I put videos on my watch list for stuff all the time that isn't about painting, but like, wood cutting or whatever else I'm looking at, welding, and I'll put those videos aside. I'll go back and look through that every now and then, even though I'm not doing a project, just to spark my memory on things that I thought were cool at the time and put aside to save for later. So those things can really help. Just want to give a shout out to Jason, that guy over there, or me. The man is a natural teacher. I've only been watching. Thank you, by the way. I appreciate that. I've only been watching his streams for about 2 weeks, but the explanations and everything are so detailed. Even if it's something he explained last stream, never moaned, never watched yesterday's stream, I explained there. He just goes in again with the explanation, just watching in real time painting and seeing it come together, and not star wipe. And it's finished, and not star wipe.
Yeah, kind of like.
I see what you mean.
Yeah,
the wipe, the wipe meaning the transition, and finish the damn owl. We call that finish the damn owl, right? Because there's that old submit your artwork, and it has 2 circles, a triangle, and then a beautifully painted owl.
Yeah, and to go off of that, Jason will answer the question, and for some days it will click for some people, some days it won't. Even though it's the same subject, I have sat here 100%. And heard the same thing a bunch of times. Only some days I'm like, oh, that makes sense. So
100%. I think that's the biggest reason why I have no problem saying teaching the same glaze. People ask how to glaze, how to blend, how to do all this stuff, how to edge highlight, all of it. The questions around our painting world are fairly finite. When you really look at them, there's variations on a theme, but we have said the same thing for 9 years, coming up on 10 years. We've been saying the same thing over and over and over again. And it doesn't bother me at all, because like what Chris said, not everybody learns the same way. First off, the language that I use one day may not click for you, and you come back a week, a month, a year later and be like, you know what? I've been banging my head against wet blending forever. You just said it or showed me it in a video and I got it. One of the biggest comments we get on our YouTube videos is that for years I've been watching people try to teach me this, and this simple 10-minute video taught me more than I've seen in all those years. We get that constantly. And I think it really is. I take pride in the fact that it really is. I talk to you guys like you can do it already, because I believe that. There's nothing special about me. I just sit and bang my head against it until I figure it out. I'm the guy that will throw the wrong rock against the wall for so long that I swear I can make it work, and sometimes the frustration comes from realizing you've been throwing the wrong rock. But sometimes you just make it work. So I really believe everybody out there can paint like I do. It's just got to be confident in it. Got to go and test it. Got to try it. It's not going to happen overnight. That, I think we live in a world of instant gratification, and when you can't make it happen perfectly the first time, and you can't post it on Instagram and be like the people you admire, then it feels bad, and that's where you got to get away from that. Only judge your work against your own previous work, not against everybody else's, and that's the biggest thing to learn. And then you can be off to the races with spending time focused on growing your talent. Jason Habibi, will you ever do a video on vampire skin? Yeah, we definitely could. I feel like we haven't focused on pale skin or dead skin.
Undead skin.
Yeah, we've done it on stream because the horse one was really cool.
We've never done like a vampire. Well, you have done that, just not in my recent memory of doing like pale white vampire skin.
There was a point in time when painting this undead horse thing that when we had the video for this, that as I was painting this, I stopped at one point and I said, you could stop here and it would be great vampire skin, because it was a little more gray than it is with the greenish highlights on here. And there's variations, but remember, a lot of times when I'm painting things like this, it's not about the thing I'm painting. The technique is not about the color. It's about the application of color. And so you could watch something like this and how I did it and how I made the glazing of the magenta to give it that bruisey kind of weird undead look. You could take this and add your twist of color to it to make it more pale, more gray, more lifelike, whatever you wanted for the vampire in question. But this technique would work for anything you wanted to paint undead. So again, remember that one of the biggest things as you walk along, not just watching me, but other people, regardless of how they're telling you the process, watch how the brush moves, watch the timing, when they did color 1, what that color was, when they did color 2, when they did color 3, and how they did those, and worry less about the actual color, because you could swap all those colors. The thing you probably always want to do is find a color that is adjacent or exactly the same value. So if I paint with a dark color, paint with a dark color when I do. When I paint with a mid-tone color, paint with a mid-tone color when I do. When I paint with a bright color, replace it with a bright color of your choice. Value is very important. Around here, we say that value and volume do all the work and color gets all the credit, right? Because everybody's first question is, what blue did you use? Irrelevant. You're asking the wrong question. How did you apply and what layers did you do? I did a dark layer followed by a mid-tone layer followed by a bright layer and then an edge highlight. Because now if I tell you that and I show you how I apply those values, we make it a black and white screen and you watch me paint this guy, then you could imagine putting any color into those slots and it would work the same. It would look the same on the outcome. As far as quality, you would just be in control of the color end of it on your own. I'm always a preacher that says color is probably tertiary, if not further down the line in importance. If you learn how to paint light by doing black, white, and gray on your models all the time and get it to where leather looks like leather, cloth looks like cloth using just black and white, then color is just instantly done for you. You can just start throwing color at your models and you'll be great.
What's up, Liz and Aaron?
Pickle Peach, what's going on? Aaron Lovejoy, the wonderful Liz. Laura Thor, what's going on? Been an artist in the games and entertainment industry for 15 years now, and this is so true. A small tip from someone else's perspective can really change and elevate your own knowledge. The aha moment is so crucial and satisfying once it clicks. Yeah, and I get it from people at all ends of the spectrum of painting. Ones that have been painting for decades, ones that have just started painting. Sitting around in classes and having people ask questions sometimes will spark a new aha moment for me because they'll ask something in a way I've never been asked. So it could be an aha moment from, I get why people don't get this because I don't focus on telling them that. So it could be something that sparks a new way for me to tell it, or it could be something that I just hadn't thought of. I'll be like, I don't know, let's try that. And then we try it and we're like, ooh, boy, that's really cool.
Yep.
That happened one time on stream years and years ago where somebody goes, what if we wet blended these colors with a non-metallic and a metallic paint? How would that work? And I was like, never done it. Never really been in a situation where that made a difference. And we wet blended a non-metallic color and a metallic color and got a really bitchin' base coat for metal. I forget what it was we were doing. It was like a purple and a steel, and it wound up being really, really cool. And then from then it was like, now you could add that in as a way to teach doing base layers, like blended base layers for metallic to speed it up. So there's things that, people that are just, because again, they don't have those limitations of the rules. A new painter is going to be, it's like kids, right? When you talk to a kid, kids don't know the limits of things. So like, why can't you fly, Dad?
Yeah.
Well, I could jump off the roof and fly, right? You're like, whoa, back up a minute. But every now and then they're going to ask you a question where you have to be like, ooh.
Well, why can't I?
Why can't I? Let's try that, So, I treat everything like that. Like, everything's a new possibility of being able to figure something new for me, and I get fun out of that, so why not listen? That last layering video was a huge light bulb moment for you in terms of both realizing how to correctly thin your paint on the wet palette and also layering up from shadows. Yeah, definitely. Painted up the armor on a Saturnine Praetor after watching that, and the quality compared to your minis from before watching that video is like night and day. Awesome. And it was easy, right? Once you just have that moment where you're like, got it. Because my hope is that everything I do here makes it easier for you to try it. I don't mean to say that everything I show you here is going to be easy to do. I hope that what it does is it removes the barrier of entry so that you're not afraid to try it, right? A lot of what I show you is we never really, if we make a mistake, we just paint it over. I have a give a damn attitude for problems.
Even with building.
We ripped the whole wing. I cut the wing. So we were painting this guy, right, which is he's still way deep in work in progress. We were painting this guy when I realized that this shoulder plate was upside down. I glued it on upside down, and I was like, oh, my God. So we had to imagine prying. It's all resin. It's super glued on here, and I was having to figure out how to pry it off, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. We're just going to have to take the whole arm off and bust it off outside, otherwise I'm going to break things. So we broke this wing off.
Yeah.
Right? You can see... Well, no, you can't.
No.
Because I literally broke it and glued it back on to the point... I did break the back of the spear, which sucks. But I broke the wing off on purpose. We cracked the wing off and then busted the arm off and then took the shoulder off the arm, glued it back on the arm, reframed it all, glued the arm back on, glued the wing back on. And it didn't... I was like, oh, you know what? Screw this. And I just broke it off, and everybody... A collective gasp of insanity went through stream thinking I had lost my mind. But again, it's just a model, man. Yeah. Now, there's a price associated with it. There's a value associated with it. I don't want to waste money by breaking something. That's my biggest thing, because I don't want to throw it away.
But this one was big enough because it's,
But at the end of the day, it's like I just want to make sure that I show things in my kind of cavalier manner, because it allows you, hopefully, to see how much at ease you can be with just trying something new.
Yep.
Just throw the paint on the model. It literally is all about putting the paint on the model. And I've been doing it for a long time, so my control may be better than yours. My understanding of what I'm doing may be better than yours. But I try to express that in a way that it really doesn't matter. If you get a little bit of paint outside of the lines, fix it. It's not a big deal to have to go back and paint an area and fix it. So if I was trying to copy your red scheme here but didn't have dark plum, I could sub maybe dark purple. Oh, no. Okay, let's think.
What would be a good substitution?
If you have dark purple and pyro red, mix them.
Oh, okay.
Or, because pyro red's the next one in the step, mix the pyro red and the Payne's gray. The pyro red and the Payne's gray won't give you as much of a purplish tone to it, but I don't know that that's the big issue. Remember that you can always take your base layer and your mid-tone, mix them 50-50 to get that in-between color. Here I just picked dark plum. There's not enough of the dark plum that shows through to I think it would change it much. It's really the Payne's gray interaction with the red, and the dark plum just transitions between the red and the Payne's gray. So yes, you could take your dark purple, or if you have burgundy, mix that with a little bit of the pyro red and get a color that's very similar. Any tips for trying to work with volume or values on smaller models like Votan? Mm-hmm. Let me know. Yes, let me know what because Votan's really no different than what we're painting here. I mean, obviously it's different than a Dreadnought, but Votan, when talking about a Space Marine in Votan, is not any different on how I approach lighting. And so depending on, are you using airbrush, brush, a combination?
Yeah, AJ, give us a little bit more details. We can help you out.
Imitation margarine. Imitation margarine. That's amazing. Thank you. Yeah, those wings are going to be cool. We did an underpainted iridescent kind of pinks and greens and yellows and stuff and jades underneath that.
Yeah, go check those VODs out.
I just read my entire set of Pro Acrylic and was wondering if the transparents are similar to inks and how you recommend using them. Yeah, James, you can use the transparents exactly the way we'd use inks. They are just real acrylic paints, so they don't have that weird shift of sheen, and they won't re-wet and move on the model like most inks will. Even acrylic inks don't have a tough enough resin in them because they're still made to be used in porous surfaces, so they don't have a tough enough resin to be really good adhesion on models. So, the transparents work that way. They are single pigment. They are super intense like inks are. So you need to be brave and thin the crap out of them if you want to. They'll hold their color very well. They don't desaturate, so they'll still give you really great color as you go. And you can play with them, airbrush, brush, do whatever you want. Mix them with colors. Because they're translucent out of the box, you can basically mix them with metallics and not cover up the sheen. So you can get any color metallic paint by mixing them, having fun there. Plus, if you have all 9, you have the whole transparent set, then all of a sudden you can mix, I don't know, 256,000 colors out of what you have there to do all sorts of really crazy things like OSL and glazing and filters of all sorts. Prime Painter, hi guys, what's coming new for products at Monument? We got all sorts of stuff. We've got more expert acrylics coming. I start work on expansion set 5 here pretty soon. We got some models coming out. Yeah, lots of fun stuff. I'm working on a really big project that I'm hoping I can speak more about as we get towards the end of the year that we might target for like Adepticon, but I have no promises on that. So a lot of hush hush. Can't tell you, but it's all fun.
November, I will relay that to Baby J.
Oh yeah, Baby J's videos, his shorts especially are tremendous. Looking to improve my shaded areas to highlight areas, but feel like my transitions from those are a bit too drastic and not well blended.
That was going back
That's volumes on Votan.
Yep.
Looking to improve my shaded areas to highlight areas, but feel like my transitions from those are a bit too drastic and not well blended. I think, again, can you list the Just Do This video?
Yeah.
The Just Do This video that we just did with layering and blending in a very simplistic manner that gets great results, I think would be a big boon for you because it kind of shows what the technique from a technical aspect is to applying colors from shadow to highlight in a way that keeps that blend very smooth and lets you adjust where you want your transition. You want more contrast, then you switch to your brighter colors faster over your darker colors. You want less contrast, then you blend your midtones further. So it goes into all of that. And it's a very short and I think very informational filled thing. I think watching that will do you a lot of good.
It definitely hits a lot for a lot of people, I believe.
Yeah. If I wanted to tarnish black for 40K Emperor's Children, would it work doing a base of dark purple with transparent black over the top? Maybe model some dark jade, give the black that corrupted look? Yeah. If your end goal is tarnished black, there's a world where, like on these guys, I'll show you 2 black armored guys that are done similarly, but different tactics to get us there. Right? The goal is to keep the black kind of dirty.
Okay.
Can you punch in a little closer?
Yeah.
So the goal is to get, just kind of a dirty black, Space Marine armor. Not too shiny, not too dull, well used. And so on this side, I started like our black armor video where I go from Payne's Gray as a base and start blending in white blue and get my highlights and all that done. And by the time you're done, it looks more like, like a dark blue armor. And then you put a filter of transparent black over the top. And the transparent black grays it out and makes it back to kind of a dusty gray or dusty black, right? So tarnish black, I guess, if that's your lingo, right? And then you can tell like all the armor looked like the silver trim on the shoulder plates at first. And then the transparent black was put over it, and you can see the shoulders look different from the trim because the transparent black sits on them. But imagine the whole armor looking like that silver is the way that I did it. So you over brighten your armor, paint it brighter than you want it, then put a filter of black over the top of it, and it darkens all that down. But it allows you to use whatever colors you want, purple, green, browns, whatever you want, on the model itself, and then put the black over it to bring it back to black. So that's one way. The other way is like this, where I did the armor in blacks and grays, and then over the top of that, I took you can see just a hint of bluishness to the black on the top of the helmet, top of the backpack. I take transparent black and transparent blue and thin it way down, and so the whole model was already black and gray, and then I did the filter of basically the dark blue, but it's super thin to give it a little bit of a bluishness to the finish. So if you wanted it to look like it had some purple or blue or whatever, you could do it that way too. You can do the color last, or you can do black over the color. 2 different ways to talk about it. We have a video out there where I did the black over the top on Anthony L. Gray's armor, right? The legally distinct Primarch of the First Legion. And on him, we go
Here's
through the
that video.
black, and we do it again with Payne's Gray. It has dark purple underneath in the shadows. You see a little bit over there. So dark purple, Payne's Gray, and then white blue, and then black wash over the top of that to darken it back up, and then hit it again with the white blue, or maybe the bright neutral gray. I don't remember what we used as a final highlight, and to get the spec highlights back on there, and then all of a sudden you get what reads as a black or dark steel armor, but isn't really painted as black armor. That process will help you it helps you go fast, but keep color in your black, which makes it more lively. It always feels neutral and very uninspiring when you just do blacks and grays. So I get where you're coming from. But there's some things that you can go check out that I think will help a lot. There's a lot of dust on these minis. we need.
I think at some point I need to do a deep clean, Jason.
I feel like
because that
makes me want like a glass case that we can reach in and grab them out of.
I like that shelf, but also scares me.
Yeah, right.
Just because at some point
we have this shelf off screen over here that has a ton of models on it, and it's a neat shelf, but it's like,
I think a glass case is what we need.
A glass case there, or a plexiglass.
It gets dirty over here.
Yeah, because it's just the dust on them is crazy. I'm like, most of my models are brighter than this, but this one's covered with years of dust.
After a while. Great questions, everybody. Thank you so much for asking.
Boy, you guys have killed it today. Tons of really good stuff.
If you have any more, definitely ask.
Tons and tons
I've covered
of really good stuff.
Everybody's. Here was, let me see.
I'm going to do bright pale yellow into our blue black.
Oh, here's a good question. I just received my entire set of Pro Acryl and was wondering if the transparents are similar to inks, and how would you recommend using them? Thanks.
That's what we talked about. We already did that.
About the transparents in particular.
Yeah, I talked about the inks and the trans. Is this a second person asking the same thing?
I was going back up and making sure. I think
we talked about that. So yeah, we talked about that.
Okay, thank you. Yes, here we go. Perfect. Hey, keep me accountable. I had pinned that, and that was just a long question, so thank you for reminding me. Liz says, LOL, time to clean. Time to clean.
See you, Liz.
No, I think Liz is saying that we got to clean ours.
Oh, we have to. I thought she meant she was leaving. It was time to clean. I'm like, wait a minute.
Liz says she needs to come in here and clean.
Uh-oh, yeah. She already said she's going to come clean the airbrushes. That was the whole conversation we had.
There you go.
Christopher led the charge on that one.
It's going to happen. How to clean your brush. Your airbrush, specifically. Masterclass. Why Jason comments. Because Jason's is pretty clean. Question mark.
What is?
Your airbrush.
I mean, it should be.
It could take a deep clean.
Well, I mean, you don't need to just clean it to say you cleaned it.
Sometimes you got to really clean it, Jason.
Oh, here we go.
But yes, we do. We need to get a little duster in here. It's going to be one of those days where I come in here and I sweat to make sure I move those models very carefully.
Oh, you're worried about what if I break it?
Yes. But then I always remind myself of Papa Sanguinius. And then I'm like, okay, well,
don't get too cocky there. We don't want to be breaking every model up there.
No.
It's like, hey, dude, I just broke all your models. I know I watched you do that one where you glued it all back together, so you can do that on all these too, right?
That's right. Right?
I don't know why I gave Chris the Bill Clinton voice, but
I was just about to say. Hey, thanks, man. Avian says, question. Have a mental block here. I'm quite disappointed with my transitions. Too much defined shifts in color. At the end, I keep breaking out my dry brush and stippling with it. It seems, in quotes, to work, but I'll keep wanting to break through and get that other method.
The defined shift in color is the one that is generally brought about by you covering too much of your midtones up and forcing your brighter colors to be next to your darker colors and creating too much contrast. Okay? So, when you know that, then you have some ways you can solve that. More mixes in between, right? So you just create more mid-tone colors and giving them more space on the model so that they don't disappear. You know, you don't physically cover them up, and it's hard as you're setting out. Because we paint miniatures, there's not a lot of real estate on these models to be able to fit more brushstrokes into a physical geometric shape, right? These, good example right now, I'm painting these, what do you call these, knuckles on his,
I would say, are those knuckles? Yeah, those are knuckles.
Right? So I don't have a lot of space on these. These are 2 millimeters by 3 millimeters, let's say. So this is the third color I'm putting on these knuckles, right? Can I go to a fourth? Sure, but my fourth better just be like an edge highlight because I've run out of space to put much else other than another edge highlight on there. If I try to put, you know, a fourth, fifth, and sixth color on because that's what the color combo I found online said you needed to do non-metallic steel, then it's not going to look like the thing online because I'm doing it in such a small space. So you're constantly reevaluating how much color I can fit into the space I have left, and making sure that you leave yourself a gap so that you can see all the colors you've painted. And the ones you're worried about the most are the ones you've already painted, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if you cover them up, you're creating more contrast on the model, which sometimes is good. Sometimes you realize you need more contrast, and so you go cover up more of the base layer. But in a lot of cases, you realize that, oh, I covered up too much. I need to go back and you know, fix that, because I'm seeing that candy corn banding of color more than I want. And that becomes a bad look. Let's just be honest. It's not what you set out to do.
Yeah.
But like I said, you know, I always pull out the Thanos model, right? This model has 0 blending on it, right? And so when we set it down and you look at the gold,
yeah,
right, and you look at the jade, does it look blended?
No, and especially from look at that, right?
You'd never know. I mean, when you look at it, it's like, oh, geez, that model's awesome. But if you pull in super tight, right, there's no blending. Not a single ounce. We did this specifically showing people that you do not have to ever blend color to make really amazing models. And I did this one in a way that was fairly controlled, so it didn't look too cartoony. Now, that's funny because it's on a chibi Thanos. So the model makes it more cartoony than the paint does.
Yeah.
But so the combo makes it cartoony. But I would feel good painting this way on any model you put in front of me and pulling off a really amazing paint job. It's not gonna. It can make it look cartoony if you start separating like Gundam. You start separating out your contrast even more. It looks like anime, cell shade, that stuff. But at some point in time, you can just mix more layers. And the way you do this is you mix more colors from your base to your highlight. You go 5 steps and you mix your first layer and your second layer and your third layer and your fourth layer. So the colors that sit next to each other are very close to each other. And then you just mix however much you can fit into each area. You know, and then you do stuff like on the gold where I went with black brown as a really deep reflection and then into the umbers and stuff around it so that you get a good dark reflection for non-metallic metal. But you can paint this way and you can take this mentality into everything you do as a starting point and then learn how to blend in between those colors. So if you feel like my color's banding too much, then make the banding work for you. Make the banding feel like the goal. This is what I meant to do, right?
I don't think there is a tutorial specifically rattle cam.
Nah, this was done years ago, unfortunately.
I think that would be a really cool tutorial to do painting live like that.
Yeah, we could do another model like that.
But my question is
no blending, painting without blending.
Yeah, painting.
Yeah, we could do something blending.
Like that. Forsaken, we're just about to wrap up, but Forsaken, here's a good question: what would your recipe for undead vampire be if you wanted to almost a lot of contrast and brightness? I'll try with my pile of PA paints.
If you wanted a lot of contrast on undead vampire, what color of undead vampire skin are we talking?
I'm assuming you're thinking like the classic white.
I assume like pale.
Pale.
Very pale. You know, like almost that white powdered makeup look.
Yeah.
Like that Victorian hoity-toity ball, where everybody puts lots of makeup on. That's the first thing
I go to when I think of a vampire, is that just
and then
very
like,
white.
Like almost,
Bushman, of course.
Right, because I'm the fan of dark purple as a base coat for skin.
White pale, says Forsaken.
White pale. So, again, dark purple I think is a great base. I think that vampires are unique in the fact that they still have blood coursing through their veins. It just may be different than regular humans. They're not going to have the warmth of life, right, because they're undead, but they drink blood, have blood, so it's a weird situation. It's almost like the blood doesn't pump through their veins. It sits in their veins and coagulates, maybe. I don't know. I guess you have your own headcanon for how vampires work. You have the Twilight vampires that were just a little bit pale, but they still had all the undercoloring of normal humans, right? They had sparkle, so you could paint them with metallic paint.
That's true. They did have sparkle.
So there's lots of ways that you can look at what would give you vampire flesh. If you're going for like a white pale, I think a dark purple would be great. I think that moving up through something like dark plum, like we're using on the Blood Angels here, right? The dark plum could be really neat. And then going into a flesh tone like probably not anything too dark. I think your base layer would have to be no darker than advanced flesh tone or shadow flesh to give it some life. And then you immediately start adding in something like a dark ivory or an olive flesh to that human flesh tone, right? That more pale Caucasian-y flesh tone. You start adding in the pale color to it and blending that color in as you go. And then you stop when you get to something that feels, a little less human. I go back to the Gorger Maw Pack that we did.
The Gorger Maw Pack.
Right. And so this was underpainted the way I would have done normal flesh, but it used things like red gray and olive flesh over the top as opposed to regular skin tones. And the red gray and the olive flesh give us this almost jaundiced in a cave feel. It still lets me have the purples and the magentas, if you can zoom in.
Yeah.
I still get the purples and the magentas under the rolls of skin because I still underpainted it and glazed up over the way that I would, so it makes it look like there's still blood in it. But this is a great undead skin tone. Right, and this was done with dark purple, burnt red or red oxide, and then bright yellow green, right, as my underpainting colors. If you watch any of my underpainting flesh videos, they're all the same pretty much. You use some form of dark purple or dark blue, followed by some form of dark red, like burnt red or red oxide, and then followed by some form of yellow-green combo. Usually I use bright yellow-green, and you can see the bright yellow-green gives me these fleshy, fat, areas at the top of the arms and stuff when I then put a skin tone over the top. And this was, I think, red-gray over the top first, and then olive flesh for the highlight. And so you get the ability to drive high contrast in. It can look like very pale skin. You could drive more olive flesh into it and get it to be brighter, kind of like you see on the shoulder or the top of the forearm here, right? Or his face, top of the head. Yep. Right? This gives a really unique way to treat it. It may be too dirty, lives in a cave for your proper vampire, but you can see how you could alter that coloring a little bit and get a really cool look out of it. Mm-hmm. So these types of methods give you really good pale skin, and then it's just how much of the pale color do you leave showing versus how much of the purples and reds do you show as well. So,
hey, thank you guys so much for all those compliments. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
They're even complimenting you for some reason.
Hey, that means I'm doing something.
Professional.
Hey, I tried.
Paid professional.
Serious business. Paint.
Pros profesh.
Hey.
Oh, no free pub. Sorry.
Great name. Pros profesh. We're pros profesh around here. Hey.
Nearly midnight in the UK. Stan, thanks for joining us from the UK.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thank everybody.
Forsaken, yeah, definitely. And while I don't know if we have any, is there any video content on painting these guys? I don't remember.
No, I mean, it would have been in a last year's VODs, so you'd have to go way back. Probably last year in April.
Yeah, well, I was painting him to go to Adepticon, so this would have been
January. Here's what it would have been.
It would have been the January of 2024
or December-ish is when you probably started.
Yeah,
because it took you a minute to paint them.
Yeah, we painted the whole.
You painted the whole tribe.
The whole tribe. So, yeah, this comes out really good, and it's fairly simple to pull off.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate that.
I can't believe we're done.
That's it.
I haven't done anything, Chris.
No, you did a lot today. We had a lot of great questions.
I didn't really do anything.
If anything, you've got.
I got a little bit. I've moved a little bit of our highlight on the steel there. So.
Well, and you had a lot of good painting questions. That's what happens. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
You did get a lot done.
Yeah.
You got a boatload done.
Yeah. So thank you so much, everybody. Panic Bomb, always great to see you here. Remember, we've talked about it a lot today. You guys have driven the content. This is what it's for. This is a place for you guys to come and find answers to questions that are keeping you kind of gated out of having fun in your hobby. So really appreciate it. Hopefully everybody got some really good learning done. Hopefully did some learning.
That's right.
And thanks for hanging out. Remember, we do this Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monument Standard Time here in Phoenix, Arizona for Monument HQ. We love seeing you here. I will only be with us today, Wednesday, and Friday this week.
And then tomorrow it's going to be me, Baby J, and we're painting up the Kieran. We left off.
Awesome, yeah, because we got the Kieran sitting over here. Yep. So Baby J will be coming back and working on his amazing Kieran that he is doing.
Yep.
So we'll continue on. He's doing a great. I'm really loving the blue armor with the kind of iridescent reflective green on the side and the flame mane and stuff that he's doing. Really great.
Yep.
So he'll be working on the Kieran tomorrow and possibly Thursday too.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Because it's going to be we're streaming every day this week. It's just going to be Jason, Jordan, Jason, Jordan, Jason.
Yeah, I'm only Monday, Wednesday, Friday this week. I've got. Unfortunately, I have business meetings that click in at one day 3 o'clock and the other day
3:30.
3:30. So it makes it really hard to be here for an hour. I might pop in for the first hour and sit at the table in the game table and say hi and have some poop joke time. But thank you so much for hanging out. Make sure to click the links that Chris put up in chat there. Support us on monumenthobbies.com or monumenthobbies.eu, where you can buy all of our amazing products, get them shipped direct from our teams in both countries. Both countries, like the EU is a country, France and America. Maybe. There you go. And then make sure to check out the Discord, where we've got over 6,000 amazing artists just like you guys, who you can hang out with, get inspired by, ask questions. We've got a really fantastic active community that answers questions, shows off techniques, shows what they've learned, points you in the right direction to content. Great place to hang out if you love the hobby and want to make new friends and have a good time. Yeah. We'd love to see you there. And then also check out the FLGS link on the store, where you can find a store next to you or closer to you where you can go support local. It's those guys that keep the lights on and the air conditioning running, so you can go make new friends, hang out, and actually roll dice and do these things. So love seeing it. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Chris is going to find us somebody to raid, so show some love in the chat we wind up in, and we'll catch you back here tomorrow. Adios, gang.